Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I just wanted to follow up that video I just said, just kind of continue that conversation. I wasn't quite done yet, but as far as every artist out there, I just want to reiterate, I think that it's time for artists, whatever your culture is. It could be an artist from the culture that I'm from, love R&B, hip hop, black music, or you can be someone from a different culture. But I think it's time to stop allowing the Grammys or any other award show so much credence as it pertains to your art, as it pertains to certain things that you do. You go there, you wear your best gowns, you put on for these programs, and they give the awards to people who we know should not be getting them. A good percentage of the time, we know this. A lot of people complain about it. I personally think they do it just out of sheer clout. Chasing, honestly, I really do believe that. I think they've been using these awards as means of getting attention. That's all it is. We can snub this person, who we gonna snub next. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not necessarily rewarding the best of the best each and every year like it's supposed to be doing, like it's tasked with doing. And it seems to just make a mockery of its own credibility a lot of the time. And it's not limited to the Grammys. We're talking about several of these award shows. Oscars do it too, a lot of them. They all are the pinnacle of giving the best of the best what it is they're supposed to receive. But they need to be held to a greater accountability as it pertains to how they go about doing so. I think, obviously, we need to be honest and say music is subjective. So my opinion and musical taste, it's not relevant in the grand scheme of things. But I think the overall understanding is that because each and every individual can't speak up and be accounted for, when you start trying to figure out who the pinnacle is, just because you grabbed a bunch of people in a room who've been in that room for 40 years and who've always had the carte blanche to basically give these awards to whomever they want to, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, is this still the right criteria? Are you using the proper criteria for garnering the right opinions to represent the people, or are you just representing who's in that room? And if so, why would that be considered the pinnacle of anyone getting anything? It's time to start applying some understanding as it pertains to what the people want versus what it is they're receiving. And I can tell you right now, the artists that I want to see receive awards, a lot of times they don't get them. And when I speak to people that feel the same way I do, a lot of times they have different names. You know what I mean? That they wish to have won. It wouldn't even be the same. So what I'm saying is, I think it's time to stop putting so much credence on these award shows in general. To stop giving them all that you give them. That's what I'm saying to these artists. Stop giving them wearing your best gowns. Stop putting on your greatest performances. Stop putting all this pressure on yourself to perform in these places just so you can get snubbed. I'm not mad at Drake. I'm not mad at some of these other artists who've had enough. I ain't gonna sit up here and continue to get snubbed and get disrespected just so these people can continue to hee about it and do it just to do it again next year. Nah. That's my opinion about the situation. I'm sure a lot of people share it with me. It's a great American tradition. I grew up watching these award shows. It meant a lot to my mom to watch these shows. A lot of times I sat there watching them with a good amount of attention. Some of the best performances I ever seen were on the Grammys. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson performances. There were good moments. And you would see times where they would give the right people the awards and you'd be happy about it. But those times were far and in between. And it wasn't limited to them, it was the others too. You know? And it just, maybe that speaks to my taste, but I think it speaks to more so this the as a consumer feeling unsatisfied with the product more or less. I guess you could say over the years, it's the best thing I could say about it. Unsatisfied with the product, not feeling like the artist that I respected, made the best music that year, received the type of recognition that they deserved for it. Seeing guys that I maybe have never heard of or may have thought music was subpar receive those awards, And it means a lot to these artists. But I think that's what we need to change right there. And so that's what I'm using my voice to speak on, as I always do with anything that I believe in. I'm passionate about music. You know what I mean? I'm close to music, very, very close to music. And, it's just something that I want to see judged fairly. And I think that will then motivate artists to give us their best. You'll get more out of them when you judge them fairly and make that competition something that they can really believe in once again. You know what I mean? I think that gets lost in the whole conversation is what are the artists providing when they know that the pinnacle is compromised, that the entire system from which they're judged is compromised. It's bad enough they're finding out that they can't get the money. You know what I mean? They're finding out what their rights are in regards to what it is that they're doing. But then to find out that they can't even be judged fairly, to get all the way there and to find out the numbers are fudged, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I'd love to see that change. As somebody who's growing more so a love for art, the older I get, the more I want to see artists in fair positions to succeed and to just be in a good system from which to do what it is that they do. I want to see that. So that's what it is, man. I speak about that in regards to sports. I've catered this entire channel to that in regards to speaking about the NBA particularly and how I want to see them provide the best platform going forward for athletes. And I feel the same way about artists. I think they should have opportunities to rights to their properties, to their intellectual property, to their voice, to their image. As we continue to get more and more sophisticated in what we're doing online, I want to see artists get more and more opportunities to have more control over what it is that they do. Hear about artists complaining about record deals and stuff like that. Artists saying don't sign here, don't sign there. We're getting cheated over here. We feel disrespected over there. It's just, I want us to grow and evolve into an ecosystem where artists can live freely, have more of a one-on-one connection with the public and with their community, with their fan base, and just be able to get the revenue that they should be able to get. You know what I mean? And get the recognition that their art can garner, while still having the investment money that can provide them what they need. You know what I mean? There should be some way for that. There should be some pool for artists to just pluck from, man. It's 2022. You understand what I'm saying? It's 2022. If we're not dreaming up a way for something like that to exist, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? We can continue to run in place. I saw this NFT that was really interesting to me. It was a man with a chain around his neck, and hanging in front of that chain was $1, and he was chasing it. And in front of that was a grave. And as he's running in place. His clothes rip off, his skin ripped off, and it's nothing but bones, and he falls in the grave, and he never gets the dollar because the dollar's hanging in front of him in such a way for him to never actually touch it. And it's a metaphor for what we do. No matter you're an artist or a worker or what have you, you're always chasing money until you just die. You never get a chance to enjoy life. You never get a chance to stop and just realize that dollar is unobtainable. The more you chase it, the more you spend it, the more you spend it, the more you need it. Then you're somebody like myself, you start looking to invest and you find out where you invested is compromised. It's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? I thought I could make some money over here. Now I'm finding out they rigged the game, so it's like I'm in a casino. What? And then you look over at artists, you listen to them talking, listen to people like Joe Budden talk about their rights and not being able to own their this or that. And, you know, how difficult it is to get proper value and to understand proper value. And then you look over at athletes and you see how difficult it is for them to move from one place to the next. See how difficult it is to get the proper value on their money. Guy like Isaiah Thomas put up this amount of money, twist a knee, can't be worth even a fraction of that. It's like, what just happened? How come it's so difficult for artists, people who are talented, to just get their value and do what it is that they love to do without the extras? You know what I mean? And that's really what I've looked at, and it's kind of just been tired of, man. Just tired of, and trying to either use my voice or use my dollar to do something about. As it pertains to the stock market, it's that AMC thing. I'm in it. I'm not playing about that. And I know a lot of people, about 4 million people just like me. We're not playing about that. And we'll see what happens. And as far as this Grammys conversation, you know, as we're talking, hey, man, music is important to me, you know? I do playlists, as I've told you guys many times. You can follow me on Apple Music, BDF. I don't have the 44 on there, but, you know, BDF, go ahead and follow that. And you'll see what I'm doing. You see exactly how much music means to me. It means more to me than anything else. I think I'm better at that than anything else. You know what I mean? In terms of making these playlists. So when I talk about music, it's like, it's a different conversation, you know? It means different things to me. I receive music differently. So it's like, I don't think it should ever be an issue for artists to be judged properly, to feel like they're getting their value, or at least realizing their value. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. So that's what I gotta say, man. That's really what it is, man. Encourage all artists of all kinds to seek your value. Find it. Find out what that is in your various fields. Imagine what that could be. You know what I mean? In a world that's changing every day. You know what I mean? Don't just allow somebody to pay you for what's possible right now. You know what I mean? Make them pay you for what's possible forever. Especially for musical artists. Understand that your music is going to be played long after you're gone. So make sure that whatever you sign accounts for that. So that's what I got to say, man. That's pretty much it. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.